Good afternoon, Panther fans. How are we doing this afternoon? I've been saying this morning for 3 years now.
This is
So
probably the first afternoon review we've done in a very long time.
it's been a while. So we got AJ, Jameson, Dustin, Sean in the chat. Much appreciated, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Say hi for
So
me.
yeah, hey, look, I gotta find something to complain about. You guys know that. I'm still working on it though. All right. I had a nap before the game. We had 107 people on the stream. We made lots of money. I woke up, took the dogs outside, had another long nap. Life is good. so I'll have Stu, how you doing, buddy? It's
Well,
I'm
I
still groggy, man, but I feel good.
I might have caught an hour of sleep. I was so jacked up after the game, and it was 2:30, then 3:30, then 4 o'clock, and I had to be at the mechanic, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. I just
Right.
made it. And I'm not even going to get into what I need replacing, but
Yeah, I
so
hear you.
I'm still functioning. Lots of coffee. Busy
Yeah.
day today. Doing
Yeah.
a lot of pre-Thanksgiving sales, so that's good.
Yeah. That is.
And yeah, man, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. You
Um,
know, as soon as we both decided, you know what? It's going to be just like last year, win two, lose one, win one, lose two. As soon as we accepted that, five straight. I mean, we had to wait the whole year last year.
yeah,
Remember, it was the sixth straight win that put us in the playoffs. No, it was the last. Yeah. Well, anyway, the point is that what are we going to do when we get our guys back?
I don't know, but someone on the NHL Network, I think it was Dave Reed, because obviously Edmonton, San Jose, teams go through losing 5 and 6 games, and then they win 5 and 6 games.
Yeah.
Now, I watched your recap, and there are times when you and I disagree on things.
Well,
So,
I'm not going to. I was pretty exhausted. The first half of
okay,
the recap, I was woozy from my nap, and the second half of it, I watched it this morning. Um, I'm interested to see what you disagreed with, but I was.
yeah,
By the time I was filming the post game, I hit the wall about 2 minutes in.
all right, you're allowed, but I mean, that's why we have a review and a different perspective on the game.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think it was meh. I think the Panthers, they weren't, they didn't have the Porsche in sixth gear, but they played a decent first period.
okay,
They basically, they came out to play. As far as I'm
okay,
concerned, they weren't
okay.
sleepwalking. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
Lomberg's goal.
Oh yeah, I know.
I love doing that 6x6 bread
Yeah,
basket
yeah,
because if you notice how many, and we're talking about throughout the league, these players with these graphite sticks, they're so good, and the puck just look at Gudis. Gudis scored a
yeah,
goal. I mean, these pucks are whizzing by these goalies' ears,
yeah,
and that's the spot where they can't stop it.
yeah. I
So
got
that's why you have so many pucks going over the net or hitting the
right,
bar
right,
because
right.
they're trying to get it in that. That just shows you how good a snipes. Ryan Lomberg
I know.
sniped that.
Hey, look, he's got more talent than people give him credit for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Colby's in the chat. He's at the gym listening in. He says we're 2-11 in our last 13 games in LA, and they're 1-3-3 at home, so they might be desperate. Yeah. I mean, you want to win every game, but if we lose one of these two upcoming games, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked. You
Well, got
know?
news for you. Anaheim is playing pretty good hockey right now.
Right.
I think Gudis has made a big difference on that team. His leadership, like he did here.
Yeah.
But I'm really bummed because if not for some financial difficulties,
Right.
I'd be on the plane tomorrow and
Yeah.
I'd be sitting on the glass Thursday night.
Yeah.
Um,
So what did you think about? Because I admittedly was not sharp last night. I took a nap right before the game. It took me about a half hour into the game to actually wake up and be functional. But I did see a couple of people on Twitter with the same general idea of he's not bad and he's adequate for now. But for me personally, I would not want to go into the playoffs with Stolars as the backup goalie
he
because
lets up too many
you give
rebounds.
up those rebounds against
And,
a good
and, and,
team.
and you know, I'm going to blame Robbie Tallis for a lot of this stuff. Now, you made mention, and it's something that I pointed out to you as far as the goalies coming out and challenging the shooters and taking
Right,
away their angles.
right.
And that Zaka shot picked the corner. What was the one the other night that they picked the corner? I mean, Bob's got, let's say Bob. Bob's got to come out and cut the angles. You know, staying in back in your net leaves too many holes.
Right,
Same
right.
thing when they're getting in close and they go on their knees and then like the Connor Bedard shot. I mean,
Yeah.
Bob wasn't prepared for it, but I'm using it as an example
Right,
because these guys, like I said, they're excellent at roofing the puck.
right, right,
And if a goalie is standing, you know, especially a tall goalie like Stolarz is standing up and is against the post,
right.
where's he putting it? But, you know, these guys just go, it's the style of goaltending. They go down on their knees. They
Yeah,
play a lot of pucks on their knees.
right, right.
So, you know, the main thing for me yesterday, and obviously the proof of the pudding is that, you know, Ekman Larson finally, I mean, that first power play, back and forth and back and
Yeah,
forth,
yeah, it was
back
bad.
and forth. I mean,
know.
no shots on
Right.
a power play.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's why we didn't score on that 4-minute Foligno.
Right.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
shoot, Maurice, tell these guys they got to get minimum 5 shots on a power play. Maybe
Yeah, and-
2 of them get through,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and you have a rebound. Like, I mean, it was just like that's how it's done. That's how I texted you. As soon
Right.
as Reinhardt scored on that rebound,
Yeah.
simple formula: put 2 people in front, Kachuk, Reinhardt. You either tip it in, you get a rebound, or it goes off a defenseman.
Right. Yeah. No, that first power play, and I just loved though that Ryan Lomberg came back. It was like a minute later, and he was just like, "Let me show you all you big dogs. Let me show you how to do it." And he just whack put the puck in the back of the net. I love that.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize one thing before I forget. I didn't realize we only signed Larson to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, the only guys that we gave multiple years to are Mikola and Rodriguez in terms of the new guys. Everybody else got one year.
Yeah, so we might not have him after this year, even though he's getting paid.
Yeah.
He's getting paid from Vancouver forever.
Well, all of that is going to be determined. You know, and I don't want us to get off on a tangent, but that's going to all be determined by who goes, if anybody goes, with all the contracts and all of that. Because obviously, if Zito has any ideas about moving on from Ekblad, he would assume Larson would be the probably half price.
I gotta take the computer inside.
Okay, yeah, because it's raining and you're probably getting a little bit
It's
wet.
just the noise.
Oh, okay. He can't hear me. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that with Larson, you know, if Zito has any thoughts about moving on from Ekblad, Larson would be the obvious replacement. So we'll see how all that shakes out.
Yep.
I don't want to beat my head over you know up over that. But look, I mean, what I was happy to see was, I mean, we could have just laid down when San Jose took that lead. You know, we kind of could have been like, well, trap game, you know. And did you hear the explanation on the Bennett goal on the offside?
I did, and it was bullshit.
Okay, because what did you? Because we were streaming, so we don't have the volume up
Yeah.
that
So what
loud.
they said was the former referee, Dave Jackson, I think it is, he's in contact with the War Room in Toronto.
Okay.
And the way they explained it was Bennett kind of sort of kicked the defenseman's leg inside the blue line,
Right.
and the puck hit off the pads, off his shin pad, and
Yeah.
stayed in the zone. I mean,
How?
that's a bullshit. Listen, they took it away to
Right.
give San Jose a chance to get back in the game. I mean, that's how it goes with the referees.
Well, it's funny because somebody in the chat earlier, and then Kyle brought this up. Somebody in the chat had mentioned that the line was 1.5, and he had the Panthers at 1.5 plus 1.5, and
Uh-huh.
so that brought it back under the line. So Kyle found that very interesting. I've never,
9 out of 10 times they call it a good goal, but since it's the Panthers,
yeah, it was just weird
we
because I
don't
mean,
get those close calls. We do sometimes, but
sometimes we it's been I just wanted to know because I mean I thought the puck don't come out, the puck don't come out. I mean,
yeah.
this
I
isn't
mean,
that difficult.
I must have watched it 6, 7 times. I rewound it and watched it and rewound it. And even the slow motion, they had the one angle looking across the blue line,
Yeah,
and then they had that angle from behind where the puck was in like the middle of the blue line.
right. Yeah, so
That excuse that, I
yeah,
mean, that's a hockey play.
yeah. I don't understand what the reason, what the. I mean, anyway,
It
it
was
didn't end
another
up.
freaking snipe, boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But
Bennett deserved to score
yeah.
that goal, but
But the point I was making was that um they turned it on when they needed to. They got to 2 points.
that's
Now
that,
Cuban's got something in the chat here, so we can move on to that because we wanted to talk about it anyway. Cuban says we need Patrick Kane to play with Barkov. Stu, go.
nope, we don't.
Go.
I'm sorry, guys. And it's something that Billy once told me. Chemistry in the room is probably the most important thing for a team. And there's egos and personalities, and some players come in and disrupt that. And I just think that, Patrick Kane would do not an intentional, negative thing.
Right.
It's just that right now the group of guys that we have,
Right.
it's a cohesive unit. They all like each other.
Right.
They're not coming with Patrick Kane's goals and assists and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, two big things. Number one, I don't see where we have the money. I don't see Patrick Kane taking $850,000. I don't see that.
Right.
And number two, where's he going to play? We finally got Barkov with Rodriguez now,
Right.
adding that.
Yeah.
I'm on like put the
Adding that
he's
element.
like the grout in between the tiles. He
Yeah.
brings the tiles together. Reinhardt's playing like out of his mind right now.
I know.
And Barkov's, he might not be scoring as much, but I've never seen Barkov as aggressive with,
Right.
body checking and sellies. Come on, he never used to, I mean, just to get a smile out of him back then was big.
Yeah.
So the chemistry on that line is solid. Then you got, Bennett for Hagee, and I don't know why Maurice switched things around.
Yeah.
That made no sense to me. But
even the ESPN broadcasters were like, "What? Why is he doing that?" Made no sense.
I don't know, but it worked. So you got that top six. The only place I see him is, with Lundell and Luosterainen.
And I brought up the point in the video that Man, we've already seen what happens if the forwards don't play defense in this system, right? And I'm sorry, I just don't see the need. The system is defense, and then we get our timely goals. And Nick Cousins, while he doesn't get a lot of goals, he gets timely goals.
Yep.
And there's so good that whole third line. We talked about it last night in the recap a little bit too, where all right, they're not getting a lot of offensive production. I get it. Apparently, Samoskevich and Sordif are not exactly tearing it up in the AHL either right now. So that's not an answer just yet. So I get that Zito might have a thought about adding an offensive player to that line. But man, like I said in that video, I can taste Stu Barnes and Jason Woolley for Chris Wells in my mouth.
Yeah.
With that move, I just don't.
I don't see Patrick Kane buying into Maurice's defensive first, hit him, knock him out type of play. He's just strictly, to me, he's strictly an offensive, weapon.
Right.
And nobody knows how he's going to play coming back from back surgery.
Right. Well, hip. It was hip resurfacing.
Hip, whatever.
Yeah.
It's an unknown. That's a major surgery. Who knows?
At 36 years old.
So, you know what? Let him go home to Buffalo. They have the assets. They have the money. Maybe, not maybe. I know he'll bring in the crowd.
Right.
And let him retire as a Sabre.
Yeah.
We don't need him. We can't afford him. There's no way to put him. I mean, we have a problem right now.
Yeah.
We have a overabundance of forwards and defensemen.
Yeah.
Good thing to have. We never had the depth that we have now.
Right.
I mean, that fourth line was flying last night.
Yeah, no, I mean, Stenlund, I think, has got
Stenlund
5
scores
goals.
one. Great tip in.
Yeah.
Lomberg scored one. Lorentz was, doing his thing.
Yeah, look, I think we're all, and as it is, we're not going to have to take any. We already got Bennett back. Yes.
Would you say this is the best fourth line we've ever had? Can you name? Can you name? I mean, obviously going back 30 years.
I mean, Luster, and Lomberg, Hornquist was pretty nice. That was pretty nice.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's a better fourth line this year than it was last year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, and they made a point of saying it that, the Panthers have a lot of depth.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Man, I just wish, I wish the Sirius radio is delayed a little bit. So I would have had Doug, doing the play-by-play.
Oh, yeah.
Because those announcers are obnoxious. They don't have to talk while maybe they feel like they have to talk while the play's going on. Shut the fuck up. Okay? You're annoying. Ask everybody in the chat what they think about what I just said.
Yeah.
Let's see the comments. But anyway, the bottom line is 5 in a row now. I'd like to know what's our record? 10-2-1 now?
Since the two, we're 10-4-1. So since the 2 losses,
right? But 10-2-1 in the last 13 games.
Right.
Incredible. But look, 10 wins is 20 points.
Right.
We're 4 points behind Boston, and we're like 3 or 4 points ahead of the third place team.
Yeah. I had it up.
Again, this is where, before the season, knowing we weren't going to have Ekblad and Montour,
right?
This is where we said would be great if we were like, right there. I still think we're finishing top 3.
Oh yeah, I absolutely.
And I'd like to see us overtake Boston.
I mean, that's a big ask.
Yeah, well, everybody's talking about how great they are, and they don't have Bergeron, and they're still great. Yeah, right. They're a good team, but we were beating them, and we beat them last year.
Yeah.
Not just the playoffs, but during the regular season.
Look, I'm good with finishing second in the division
Me
because
too.
you got a home ice series for round one, and then you get the chance to let somebody else play Boston after in the first round after what we did to them last year, because if Boston's going to do anything at all this year, it's going to be beat the crap out of whoever they play in the first round.
Yeah, well, I don't want to play them because they still have, revenge in their minds every time they play us now. I mean,
Yeah,
Montgomery said it. It's
yeah,
not just another game.
right.
So most
Right.
likely it would be Toronto. Hey, Tampa, 5-0 St. Louis.
I know. But look, I mean,
He's coming back soon.
Tampa is doing what we thought we needed to do. I mean, they're 6-6-4. So they got 16 points. They're not even, I mean, the wild card right now is 16 points. So, I mean, they're right there on the border of a playoff spot, which is what we were trying to do. So for them to be there without Vasilevsky, I mean, they've given up 59 goals. You know what I mean? And
Just
and,
goes to
and
show you, you know, one player,
yeah,
and usually it's not one player that makes all the difference. Obviously, Bennett makes our team so much better.
right,
It's different with a goalie. Your goalie is your number one most important player on the ice.
right, right,
So I'm expecting Vasilevsky to come back, maybe take 3, 4, 5 games to get back in his groove.
right.
And then you watch Tampa's going to go on like a 10-game winning streak.
I don't know about that, but
All right.
I think they'll play better. I don't.
You watch. You watch. They'll get on a.
They'll
First of
get
all,
on it.
they're going to be psyched just to have him back.
Right,
So
right,
that's a good segue now into Montour and Ekblad,
right.
who I don't know where I read this or heard it, but there was talk of them coming back for tomorrow night's game.
For
I don't
well,
think so. I think
no,
they're going to wait till they come home and get the juice, the electricity from the
right.
home crowd.
Maybe.
There's no reason to rush these guys.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Maurice had said that they were in a window where he wasn't going to bring them back for the first or the back-to-back games for sure.
Right.
So if
Okay.
they come back on the trip, it'll be that second game.
Maybe it depends on how we do tomorrow night. All I know is it would be much better not to play them on the road. Their first game back, like I said, that game's going to be a sellout.
Yeah.
It's going to be electric,
Who do we
and the
play that
crowd's
first
going to
game
just
back?
give them, the big standing ovation. And I would not doubt, and we'll have to see if this happens. I would not doubt them pairing up as the starting D that first game that they're back.
What, Ekblad and Montour? Just pair
Correct.
them up?
Yep. Just for the opening, like I said, that's why I keep saying I think it's going to be at home, and they're going to announce the starting five, and they're going to get big cheers there. I just for the
Right.
first shift. Then we'll have to see.
We'll see.
Then we'll have to see who's
Well,
playing with who.
remember I cracked a joke about playing them at forward. And then I don't know if you saw this, but on Monday, Maurice played him at forward.
I know
Because,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, I heard that in your recap.
I got a good kick at it. So the point being there is that we don't know that he hasn't started practicing with them in terms of what their pair would be. Now it would give them some extra time though, because we play Thursday, Friday, and then the home game's not till Monday. So that's an extra few days there for them to get rested and maybe, Sunday have have a practice with whoever they're going to be paired with. Um, who knows, man? Who knows? It's going to be, and with Maurice, you know, it's going to be fluid all the way. That's not. I mean, we had talked about that. I had kind of said put them on the bottom pair in their first game just to get them going, and that so we'd only have to have one new pair. But there's pros and cons to that whole thing. Defense is playing well, so it's really going
Yeah,
to be.
it's going to be disruptive. They're just going to have to figure out, who works best with each other. Obviously, we're not privy to what's going on in practice.
Right.
But I mean, do you split Mikula and Kulikov?
No, to me, that's almost one of the most important pairs
Yeah,
to keep together.
I mean, Larson and Forsling. I mean, I could see them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing good together. But I would like to see, it's going to be Forsling and Ekblad. I want to see what Larson and Montour can do together.
Yeah, somebody said that wasn't a good idea because it's two offensive-minded defensemen. But
Listen,
somewhere along the way, that's going to happen anyway because with both Ekblad and Montour coming back, you know what I mean?
I have a feeling that, if that's the pair or whoever Montour plays with, they're just going to take a step back.
Right.
Forsling, did it. I mean, Forsling's got so much offensive potential that he never uses. He's got a cannon of a shot.
Yeah.
And he moves good. He skates like Matheson was a great skater.
Yeah.
He just was a stupid hockey player.
Yeah.
But he's turned things around.
Yeah.
He's a real solid player with Montreal now. I think he finally found his place.
It goes both ways. We take other players from other places and that aren't doing well and plug them in here and they do well. And then we give up on our guys and they go elsewhere and do well. It's kind of a two-way system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay. Look, I mean, I'm happy with where we are. The only question, like I said, realistically, is we got to 2 points, so it's not a problem. But
we needed to get those 2 points last night.
Right.
Because
tomorrow the Stolars thing, that's a little bit concerned there because I don't know what their plan for Spencer Knight is.
I'm telling you, I keep saying, unless something, God forbid, happens with Bob, they're going to leave him down there the whole year and bring him up when they're able to expand the roster.
You wouldn't want him to
still don't know what's going to happen with the AHL playoffs.
Right.
I mean, do they just switch? They bring up Knight and put Stolars down?
No, I don't know. No, you'd want to carry 3 goalies.
I don't know how the waiver thing is with, some of these guys.
Right.
But, Bob will be rested for tomorrow. But I'll say it, man. I don't want to say it. I'll just say they better bring it against the Kings because the Kings ain't the Sharks.
Yeah, where is everybody? Let me look at this. Let's see. The Kings are 8-3-3. They've got a 14-goal differential. They scored a lot of goals, so their offense is definitely rolling. And then the Ducks are basically right there with them at 9-6.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's 2 good teams. You never want to lose games, but if we get 2 points out of those games, you got 4 out of the 6 points on the road trip. Eventually, you start winning 5, 6, 7 in a row. Eventually, obviously, your number is going to come due. They win all 2. If they sweep this road trip,
yeah.
Wishful thinking.
But it's possible. Just like last night, I said to you, we need to get Stolars at least 4 goals. All right? I'm not counting the empty netter.
Yeah.
But same thing tomorrow. Maybe 5. We got to get Bob at least 4 goals.
Yes,
yeah, 4-goal Bob. 5. We get Bob as to 4 goals. We usually win.
Right.
So
Yeah, AJ, I agree with you. He says Knight just needs to play games and get his confidence and reps in the AHL is number one. Totally agree with that. Absolutely. I don't see any Alex Lyon in Stolars. You know what I mean? I just
That is,
that that
yeah,
that that
that
rebound
is,
control,
that is that is correct. And
that's
this
a
thing,
killer in the playoffs.
he's got to work. He's got to work really hard on his rebound control.
Yeah. 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 And that kind of explains because if you look at his numbers over the years, they're wildly inconsistent. You know. Oh, Cuban wants to know. I gave this some thought too. He says, "Hey, Jaws, what would you guys think the Panthers would have to give up to get McDavid, who apparently is pissed off in Edmonton?" To me, that's an easy deal, man. Um, Ekblad, Knight, and a one for McDavid. Done. The cap is
Yeah,
even. The cap
yeah.
is even, and we're good to go.
They
Have a
need
nice day.
goaltending.
Yeah, Ekblad, Knight, and a
They
first.
need defense, and
Yeah,
we need to get rid of
we
$12
would have to
million.
clear 12 million, so that would be almost
That
enough.
would be a good trade.
Yeah, I'm in.
I don't even know what year we have in them. What is it?
They would probably make
2028?
us. They would probably make us throw in something more, obviously, because they're not going to take less for McDavid than they got for
Lundell.
for. God damn it, Luosterainen. I know.
And I would do it. Can you imagine who
Lund,
the hell would he play with?
Lundell.
He would play with Reinhardt. And could you imagine
Jesus, Barkov,
Connor
Reinhardt, and
McDavid? No,
no.
they're both centers.
Right.
Connor McDavid between Verhaeghe and Reinhardt. And then you put, now who plays with Barkov then? But Kachuk. Or
Hey, Miss Fins.
you put McDavid with Kachuk, and who would be on the other wing?
McDavid, Kachuk, and Rodriguez.
I don't know, but it's cool to think about that. It's a lot cooler to think about that than fucking Patrick Kane, 36 years old. Can you imagine? And you know what? McDavid would come here in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure.
No taxes.
Right.
The weather. They're probably one of the teams closest to the cup. Then
now Cuban says he'd give up Carter, and that's an interesting perspective because, here's the thing, Stu. Before you figure out that trade, you got to know how much. All right, Sam, how much do you want? Okay, Carter, how much do you want? Because maybe you don't, and you see what I'm saying.
Reinhardt's going to want 9 now, 9 or 10,
8 and a puppy.
Just telling you.
No, and you're not wrong.
He's having one of those, like Huberto had
right
the last year.
If Zito can work magic, the magic will be 9.
I don't know. Would Ekblad waive his no trade to Edmonton?
Well, let's put it this way. Ekblad's no move clause kicks in after this season is over. So Bill could be like, look, bro, I'm going to trade you anyway. So you can either go to Edmonton now or one of the other teams over summer that I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? So there could be that. It's all conjecture, but
that would be a great trade for both teams. That solves Edmonton's goalie problems.
Right.
All right. That helps with their defense. Who knows? They might even make Aaron Ekblad their captain. And then, it's going to take another player.
Yeah, it would take more. Yeah.
They could always throw in Fitzgerald or Riley or
Bierstead.
It would probably take 4 or 5 players.
Yeah, because they're going to want more than we got when we gave for Kachuk.
Right.
But for starters, it would have to be Knight and Ekblad. And
absolutely.
That we don't have. First, that we don't have.
Man, you people need to watch this video because we're putting something out there right now. A la the the Huberdeau Kachuk trade. Could be another.
That would be.
So he really said he wants out.
Well, I didn't see that. I've seen some media saying he's upset. He's pissed at the situation.
Well, he's wasting his career.
Right. So
Can
good
you imagine
question.
the numbers
Cuban.
he would put up here? Wow.
Yeah.
It's too bad he can't play with Barkov because they're two centers.
I mean,
He needs he needs a Draisaitl, and I think that guy is Carter Verhaeghe.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know, you don't want to mess up. You know, Rodriguez, Barkov, and Reinhardt. And then you got Kachuk, Bennett. We would need somebody to take, and you know that line.
You know what you do here? I got it. You keep Barkov, Reinhardt, and Rodriguez, and you keep Bennett, Kachuk, and Verhaeghe, right? And you go. What I was trying to do was give up. If you went no, that's not enough because you have to give up Lundell. Yeah, we could be here. We could do this for an hour.
Right, but the perfect, the like Draisaitl and McDavid, I could see Verhaeghe and McDavid gelling real quick because McDavid. Forget about his own ability to score. What's really great about McDavid is, you know, like all the great ones, like Gretzky and, you know, Huberdeau, they have that vision, you know, on the chessboard. And McDavid, I mean, how many times has he fed Draisaitl for pretty much an easy goal?
Yeah. And Dustin's got a good point. He says he thinks Brady would be a better fit here.
Who?
Brady Kachuk.
That ain't happening.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Has somebody said that he wanted out or something? I haven't heard that.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, it's fun to talk about.
No, it's fun to talk about the McDavid.
You can be guaranteed one thing: if there are McDavid trade rumors, at the top of that list will be Bill Zito. he'll be there.
Now you got a subject for a new video in your series of Bill Zito videos.
Yeah. That would be
but I'll tell you, $12 million. Those two players is what McDavid would probably want to come here.
Yeah. So,
I do that. I do that in a fucking heartbeat.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I you know, again, I feel for the kid, but you know, business is business.
Yeah.
Knight's damaged goods. So
yeah, look,
knows,
I mean,
you
nailed it though. You nailed it. I mean, because I said Ekblad and Knight and a first, and you got to give one more player. And yeah, you're right with Lundell because you're already going to have Barkov, McDavid, Bennett. Where's Lundell going to go? And that makes the money work too. That makes the money work, even Steven. So,
I could also see Luosterainen playing with McDavid.
Well, or you could give up Luosterainen and put Lundell on McDavid's wing.
No, I like Luosterainen. I think he's in the doldrums right now, and a dynamic player like McDavid could revitalize his career.
Yeah. Well,
those two are struggling right now.
Most likely, all of Canada has Bill Zito's phone number blocked anyway. So,
well, if anybody can pull that off, it's him. That's why this whole talk about Patrick Kane
makes no sense.
Perplexes me because if we're, bringing up the points that we just brought up, Zito's got to be asking himself the same thing.
Yeah.
Where am I getting the money? Where am I going to put him? And what chemically reaction-wise, what is bringing in a guy like that due to the room?
Right.
So
hey
guys, this is now fodder for comments.
Yeah.
I want to see a lot of likes on this video, but more importantly, I want to see a lot of comments on that subject alone.
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about the game again. It's another game, but this is now a hot potato subject
Yeah, that would
that
be
we'll
fun.
have to do another video after we see all the comments.
Yeah, yeah. So
But that would be another one of those trades for the century type of deal.
that would be
Yeah, but
crazy.
McDavid's just wasting away. It's like,
Yeah, you feel for the guy, you know what I mean? But you know, you can't help where you end up, and then you sign those big contracts, and like Luongo all those years, he
yep,
kept on saying, "I'd love to just tear up this contract so they can move me, but I can't." That's the one big difference in the NFL. If the owners, if everybody agrees, they can just rip up the contract, renegotiate it, restructure it, and do that. But in hockey, once you sign it, it's in blood. You know what I mean? I mean, look at the Bobrovsky buyout. Even if we bought him out after this season, is 2 years of
yeah. I don't think
6.6
that's
million.
happening now.
No, but I'm just saying the way the contracts are structured, even if he was playing terrible and we were going to buy him out after this year, it's 2 years of 6.6 dead cap and then 2 more years of 1.6 dead cap.
Yeah.
So it's the NHL is not
Wow.
kind if you screw up giving out.
What is Knight making? 4.5 or 5.5?
4.5. So
4.5. Yeah, so it's 12 million.
Yeah, it's 12 million. Yeah. I know it would work. That's where I got the idea. I know, right?
I hate to say it,
but we would have to give up more.
Yeah.
We would have to give up more.
All right, so that's in the comments. What other sweetener on the deal? What's the deal closer that we give Edmonton to make this happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now watch them announce the trade tomorrow.
Yeah, right. One of the sweeteners, I bet you, could be Mahura.
I'd give them a Mahura in a heartbeat.
If they're trying to build a team, you know what I mean?
They need goaltending and defense.
Right. They need goaltending and defense.
And we have both.
Right. Yeah. All right. This should be interesting. All right. Any last words? No. Yep. I got to go eat my lunch. For you, everybody here is a member right now, obviously. So I'm going to go eat some lunch and then I'll have the podcast. I'm going to go do the podcast out. That'll be out. So 2:30 the podcast should be out.
I'm happy tomorrow night. Goldie and Randy are back.
Yeah.
Yep. Katie.
Yep. So, all right, everybody. We appreciate it. This was fun doing this at noon. A lot more people, obviously. Appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys later again with the podcast. And then tomorrow I have a feeling Bill Zito has something to say about all of this.